Could an IVF rhino pregnancy breakthrough save the northern white rhino, which is down to a population of 2? Now, have a look at this image from Kenya. These are the world's last 2 northern white rhinos, the final survivors of a species that has almost been wiped out by illegal poaching. Both of them are female, and there is now just a glimmer of hope for the future of the species after scientists successfully achieved a surrogate IVF pregnancy in the closely related southern white rhino. Here's our science editor, Rebecca Morell.
The last 2 northern white rhinos left on the planet. Najin and Fatu, a mother and daughter, living in a reserve in Kenya. The species is all but extinct. Now a fertility breakthrough has offered some hope. In a world first, scientists have successfully carried out rhino IVF, but in a less endangered southern white rhino, a close cousin to the northern white. A southern white rhino embryo created in a lab from sperm and an egg was implanted into a surrogate mum. It's taken years and 13 attempts for a rhino to fall pregnant.
It is really a great milestone to achieve the first successful embryo transfer in the rhino. It's very challenging in terms of placing an embryo inside of the reproductive tract, which is almost 2 meters inside of the animal. With this achievement, I'm very confident that we will be able to create northern white rhinos in the same manner.
The material they need is held in a lab in Berlin. This is a frozen ark. Tissues from hundreds of different animals are perfectly preserved in liquid nitrogen inside these tanks. But the most precious samples are stored inside here. A small number of northern white rhino embryos created by the scientists here. And they're the last chance of saving this species. There are just 30 of these lab-made northern white embryos, but there's a complication. Najin and Fatu, the last northern whites, can't carry a pregnancy. So instead the embryos have to be implanted into a southern white rhino surrogate mother. IVF across 2 subspecies has never been attempted before, but the team is confident it will work.
The speed of progress we did, we will see relatively soon the first calf on the ground, and then I may retire before the first reintroduction into the wild will take place. But I think it is not too far away. It might be in 10-15 years.
But the IVF success with the southern white rhino was struck by tragedy. 2 months into the pregnancy, the rhino died of an unrelated bacterial infection. A post-mortem found the fetus had a 95% chance of being born, proof that the technique works. The team's attention is now turning to the northern white rhinos, so the first calf will be born while Najin and Fatu are still around. It's a race against time for this species. Rebecca Morell, BBC News.